Suggested the method of figuring out. The only issue that because this was done prior to this board, then there wasn't a, normally we would take engineering fees out to video it, but that was
So
not
this
prior.
is-
This was done
this part
actually
only.
like a year and a half, we've been holding the money.
Okay.
They just remembered.
No.
How do you vote?
Wait a minute, I have a motion. Who seconded that motion?
Mike?
I did.
Sorry, I didn't get it. Okay, Mike,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
I vote yes. Doug?
I'm gonna vote no, but I'll vote yes on this in January.
Okay.
So everybody gets treated the same.
Yeah.
You voted yes then, Doug?
No, that's a no.
No, he said no.
Okay.
Refund $50 to Mark West for driveway
So
permits.
moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Mark West paid us for driveway permits and then decided they didn't need them. So it's just a matter of just giving them the money back.
Give them their money back.
Mhm.
How do you vote?
Mike,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
I vote yes. Doug?
Yes.
Ed?
Yep. Advertise for a new water
So
meter
moved.
reader. Got a second?
Do we,
Second.
do we have we going with the same wage?
Probably.
We advertising it with the wage?
I would advertise at the current wage that you've already said.
Yeah. I'm just making sure.
Is that only, that's only a part-time position?
It is, we'd like to eventually bring the billing back here, but we're not ready yet for that.
Okay, any other
What do you mean by
discussion?
part-time?
How many hours?
Water meters are read once a month and it takes between 20 and 25 hours.
How many?
20 and 25 hours
Yeah.
A month,
a month.
okay. How do you vote?
Mike,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
I vote yes. Doug?
Yes.
Ed?
Yeah. Motion to allow Chief to, Yankovic to hire
Two.
2 individuals.
2 part-time police officers on probationary process.
Make a motion.
I second it.
Discussion.
This is for the time that we laid out for us.
Yes.
Mhm.
How do you vote?
Mike?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
I vote yes. Doug?
Yes.
Ed?
Yep. All right. Bid oil and Jersey barriers.
So moved.
I have some numbers here.
I'll second it.
Did have some numbers.
When you say oil,
Okay, wait.
Talking about
Yes.
road oil, right?
you're talking about road oil?
E3 and MC70.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Okay.
And what?
E3 oil topping,
Okay.
20,000 plus or minus gallons.
Can we get the oil through the local co-op?
We didn't put that
We
through.
didn't.
I understand that, but I think that they'll sell you more at that price if it's available.
I inquired with, Dorsey, what's her?
Suzanne.
Suzanne. And she said no.
Did you
call it Duco?
We can call the supplier.
We didn't sign a contract with them.
We didn't sign.
The co-op didn't remember the co-op.
Yeah, but you had to sign individually for each item, and with that time, we didn't think we were gonna do any.
So we didn't do the oil.
We didn't get the oil.
What changed your mind on doing it?
Steve. His recommendation.
Okay, I have
You got a motion in a second?
Yeah,
Oh, wait, hold on, I'm not done.
E3 is 27,
Twen-
MC70.
MC
You're gonna admit
70.
It doesn't make any difference what those numbers are.
Okay, I didn't,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah, that's just the amounts.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the motion
Quantity,
is to advertise for bids.
And
What
you'll
quantity
give
is
me
what we
the,
need to know?
you'll give us,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and
All
that's
right.
what he's got.
This
Okay.
quantity.
Yeah.
And then the 50 Jersey barriers.
minus.
plus or minus.
So how much oil we bidding on for?
20,000 plus or minus.
Much, more or less, for
More or
both of
less.
those items?
And
That's been part of your bids then?
and the MC70 dust control, 5,000 gallons plus or minus.
Well, I'll say one. Go ahead.
And then 50 plus or minus used or new of good quality Jersey barriers, 12 foot.
All right, got a motion and a second to advertise for that. How do you vote?
Mike,
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
I vote yes. Doug?
Yes,
Ed?
Yep. Change order on Jensen Road. 17 grand.
They sent change order, well, I guess I have to make a motion just so we can discuss it.
I'll second
Do
it.
we have this? You made a motion?
She made a motion.
You seconded it?
Yeah, that way.
All right, discussion.
There's a change order for Jansen for $17,421.73.
is that, was
It's
that,
21.
is that 420 or 421?
Or 21.73.
Sorry.
421.
It's a typo.
Did-
Yeah, it's 421. I'm reading it.
I have it here if you want a copy.
Can I see a copy of it?
Yeah.
Did you confirm the receipt of the supplement from the Conservation District for 19,000 some odd? I don't have the number right in front of me.
It's on the, I don't have it now either.
All right.
This was a confusing part, yes. Washington County agreed to fund additional monies, but not exceeding $19,163.98.
So they're gonna cover this,
Yep.
they'll cover the change.
Yes,
then?
they will,
The Soil Conservation District will?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
We have a,
Third.
I'm all for taking their money.
Just for an understanding of what it is, because this leads into my next issue, is we're putting 550 ton of DSA on Jansen for approximately 1,800 feet. And that road has been surfaced over the years, and it's pretty hard. You know, it
We
looks
talked about this.
tar and chip, and some concerns were identified that the DSA, if it was placed onto the road directly as the way it is, that it would wash off. So they made a recommendation that we scarify the road for the full 1,800 feet prior to placement of the DSA. The contractor has got to deal with New Enterprise to deliver the 550 ton. But New Enterprise wants you guys to give them a letter saying that they can run their triaxles on, not just on the township roads, but I wrote a draft letter that I told them that I could get you to sign. And I just said the township roads. But they would like you to authorize utilization of PA Route 231, Dutch Fork Road, T3004, Jansen Road, T541, and Cunningham Road, T374.
We can't authorize them to use
That's
state.
exactly what I told them.
Besides that,
You-
travel Lake Road at your own risk.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I think all they're really looking for is an assurance that if they're traveling on a 10-ton posted road with a triaxle of material to be delivered to your project, that they're not gonna have a problem. And I told them that you couldn't authorize county, state, you couldn't do it.
Is this going through Abby over at Washington County Conservation?
Yes.
She's approved this?
Oh, the change order?
Yes.
Yes.
I called, left a message for Abby, but Abby never,
I tried calling, I was.
she hasn't returned her my call.
What's the best process forward? Could we just waive a bond for this project only? I mean, or something like that? I don't know. If that way, if they're on a township road,
Well, let me
What
ask
if
you a
they
question.
damage
Again, you're working on behalf of the township on this issue?
Yeah, it's your project.
yeah, this is a project that's been
So if
you-
ongoing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
So
doing
they're
it.
staying on the project.
Part of the confusion was, if you notice the bottom, the county signed Zach's name to it. That's why we were,
I'm a little confused, that's why I'm.
that's what caused the confusion in the beginning, when the stuff came and it had Zach's name on it. but it was dated for January of 18, nothing made any sense.
Well, what happened was,
What was that list of roads again? Why are they on?
That's a lot of roads.
It is
I-
already.
I honestly, I can't speak to that other than when I drive up there, I take 231 and I take Dutch Fork and then I'm on Jansen. So I don't
Right.
know what Cunningham Road is.
231
Cunningham's
to Church Road.
Yeah, Dutch Fork
Point-
Church Road.
Church Road, and then you're at the end of
And I'm at Jansen.
Right.
They don't
Who's Thompson Electrical Company, by the way?
They're the-
Cunningham.
They're
They won
the
the
general
bid.
contractor
Because
of the
they want to
house.
bid for the dirt and gravel program?
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to be on Cunningham or,
I don't know.
They
I
would want to
honestly,
take Cunningham if they're coming from West Virginia with the stone. That's why they would want to take Cunningham.
So,
They could come out of Lake Road, that's a state road.
yeah.
Lake Road, another.
I'm gonna sign off on Cunningham.
They don't know what they're talking
It's
about.
got a slip.
the issue with the supplement and the fact that that signature name is on that supplement that was originally submitted was because it was originally submitted prior to.
Right, it was like 2014.
Prior to the
yes.
end of the year, it was submitted because your contract for the grant ran out on February 2nd.
2018.
Yes, and I knew that it was gonna run out, so I was petitioning the Conservation District prior to the end of the year, well in advance, to extend the contract. And if you noted, that supplement not only provided for the additional funds for the road work, but it also gave it a 6-month extension on the grant. So the only reason that it was dated in January was because they requested supplemental backup information on the basis for the change order. So I submitted a CJ, that a cost justification on a PennDOT form, that pushed it beyond the end of the year. And so the same signature block appeared on it because it was submitted in, it could have been October, November. But they, in their board meeting, they questioned the amount that I had asked for, so I had to back it up. So that's why the dates are what they are.
Well, that's what we had just hit through us, because then we couldn't find it, but that's because we had put it aside, because we weren't sure what it meant
All
back in
right,
January.
the road thing aside, this is to authorize the change order, right?
Or does the change order
Include the road.
include the road thing that they want?
Oh, no, this just came up from New Enterprise.
Okay.
This is-
Let's vote on what we got right here.
So
I
is
need
the
a
motion,
motion, I need a motion.
You have it.
I have it.
Oh,
is it 81,697.14, is it 82,240?
No, we're on 21.
No.
We're on 21, the 17th.
17,421.
21.
Sorry.
17,421.7.
Okay,
There's a
you
motion,
have,
a
who
second.
made the motion?
Kathy made
I
a
did.
motion, I
You
seconded.
seconded it.
Do you want to make a
How do you,
Go ahead, you want to amend it to what?
Yeah, because I deal with Abby, I'm sort of worried a little bit. 'cause I don't
Okay.
know- I don't know much about it. so.
She didn't, well, that's what when I was trying to find out, she never returned the calls.
All right, you can amend your motion to approve that, subject to the following conditions. One, that Washington County Conservation District, AKA Abby, I can't remember her last name right now, provide written approval of the same, because, that way at least you can cover yourself. And two, that this payment be made upon recommendation of Senate Engineering concerning the project. Those are two additions to your motion.
I'm okay with that.
I am too.
all right, how do you vote?
Mike,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
I vote yes. Doug,
Yes.
Ed.
Yep. Okay. Now we gotta pay the bill for Jensen Road.
Now, that's written incorrectly because the stage you're at right now is to submit the contractor's bill along with your request for reimbursement from Washington County Conservation District. I prepared the draft letter that needs to be put on letterhead and signed, attached Thompson Electric's invoice, submitted to Abby, and then they will reimburse you.
For the,
And then upon receipt of your reimbursement, you will distribute the funds to the contractor.
So just so I understand what you're saying, is, when you say reimbursed, we have to pay this and then?
No,
I know, I'm doing a project right now.
yeah,
We
No,
paid,
we're
we
gonna
paid
get
it
the
up
money
front, and
first.
we got reimbursed.
yeah. Washington County Conservation's program allows for you to get an advance on the funds up to 50% of your total grant which was $146,000. You've already received one reimbursement for the contractor's first invoice. They do not require you to provide proof of payment on this program, but they do refer to it as a reimbursement.
What does this motion need to say?
That you're authorizing the submittal of the contractor's invoice to Washington County Conservation District for
Approved.
payment, or
For
for approval. Yeah,
You
for
have that,
Based-
Tammy?
Hold on.
So
Yeah.
motion to submit the invoice of,
The
For
contractor.
approval, not necessarily to pay it, just for approval.
correct, $81,697.14 to Washington County Conservation District, based upon the recommendation of Senate Engineering.
Okay.
And you have that letter, you have my recommendation letter, you have the progress payment request that all it requires is your signature. And I gave you a draft letter that you just need to put on your letterhead. If you'd like to send that to me, a simple scan, an email, Abby accepts that. And I put the whole package together, even though I provided you with all the backup documentation. But if it's easier for you, just get me that letter on your letterhead. I'll attach all the backup and send it right to Abby.
Tammy, you got the wording?
I do.
I make that as a motion.
Yes. Authorize, yeah.
All right,
The 81.
we got a second?
97.14.
Got a second?
I'll second it.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Doug,
And then, okay.
Mike,
Mhm. Yep.
how do you vote?
Mike,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
I vote yes. Doug,
Yes.
Ed.
Yep. I hate to hold him any longer, but.
Is there something else we need
Do we
for
need
him?
to, what's your suggestion on this letter with the road thing?
Sharon's done it before, hasn't she? Sent that?
I've never been, I've checked with everybody in my office, I've never been asked this before.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and so, I'm sure that if you would like them to produce some sort of road bond, they would come after us for a change order because it was never specified in any of the bid documents that they would need a road bond. We've been delivering R6s and 2A and 57s to the job, and none of the truckers complained. But with this 550 ton, basically 25 trucks,
We're partners in this project, guys. We can't be bonding ourselves.
Well, no, I agree. That's why I asked.
Let's move on.
I just don't want them on Cunningham.
Well,
Well, no,
we can
but,
specify that what
but
route.
they want, that ain't what I'm getting at. They sent it, they want us to sign off on something we can't sign off on, state roads and whatnot. So is that gonna, I'm not signing anything that says,
oh no, as soon as I received those comments, if I was to show you the letter that I sent him, he returned it in red with that list, and I said, there's no way we can authorize you to proceed on state or county roads. They're not ours.
right.
And so that's all I could say to them, and if the contractor has to
Really,
turn
the
around
only
and
road we should
deliver.
have, the only road we should have to prove is Jansen, and that,
Right.
And you shouldn't have to approve that.
I don't
We shouldn't have to
understand,
approve
is 231 posted between there, at 10 ton?
Yep. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I spoke with the man directly because it was going back and forth, third party. I said, let me talk to this guy. And he said he was looking at PennDOT's website, and he said, these are the roads, they're posted that way.
we can't.
Why don't we make a motion then approve the waiving of that for Jensen Road and that's in them.
Do what we can.
The way my letter originally wrote was just simply that you would authorize the use of township roads, period.
Shouldn't be any road they need other than Jensen.
No,
It's a local delivery
Well,
issue.
then you need to get a response from these people then,
but they can't be on Cunningham.
before anything can
I
probably be done.
understand you can tell them not to do that, but it's a local delivery issue. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're bringing your material to your
So-
road.
Let's
They can go up Lake
let's
Road
just
or
waive
Jensen
Jensen
or-
and move
You
on.
know,
Yeah.
Doug, you make a motion?
I move that we waive any bonding for Jensen Road and we'll put that.
Just for this project.
For this project. For this project.
Okay, so I get you the letter that authorizes them the use of township roads only with deliveries. The way
Jansen
I-
Road.
Just
Jansen.
Jansen Road.
Not township roads, just Jansen.
Oh, just Jansen Road.
Yeah.
That's what he's,
There's no other road they need to get there.
There's no other road they need to get there, everything else is state.
Oh,
They,
yeah.
they can go Dutch Fork, or they can go 231, and they can get their approval, we can't do anything with that.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to be on Cunningham, and they can't be on Cunningham.
Okay, I'll let them know.
The motion on the floor.
All
Sounds good.
right,
I have a motion.
Motion
I'll
to,
second
Okay.
it. We're waiving the bond on this
Waiving.
project
Vaughn.
just for
Jensen.
John Jensen Road.
Right.
How do you vote?
Mike,
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. I vote yes. Doug?
Yeah,
Ted?
Yes. Assign a road employee to be in charge and oversee any outside contracts, i.e. road sweeping.
Oh, looks like Keith already did it, so, but I think that needs to be something that we do every time.
I agree.
Thanks.
take care.
Do we need to, how we're just assigning it to him?
I think.
Is there any volunteers?
That should be on a per project basis.
About one of the 5 supervisors says we need a 5-panel board. Make sure it's done right. Since we needed a 5-panel board, why don't one of the supervisors make sure it's?
Because it's a road job.
It's a road job.
It's a road job.
It's a road move.
If we go out and do it, then
Say again, Steve?
It
Would
should
you
be
say-
on
Mr. Schultz should do that then.
I can't do it.
Why not?
It should be on a per incident or
Okay.
per project. I mean, if you have 3 projects on at the same time, which we may never have,
Yeah.
you might need more than one person. One person needs to do that or one thing or another thing.
Okay.
Did we actually,
Rotate
Well,
the
just-
personnel.
huh?
Just like Heath catching the overage on the
Yeah.
street sweeping. yeah.
Basically, we just need to remember when we're doing our project that
That's what
we
I'm
need
saying.
somebody,
I
yes.
don't think we need to.
We just need to keep it in our minds.
Yeah, we don't need to do anything,
No.
because they can be assigned. Right.
Yes.
All right, we're moving on. Pay bills every 2 weeks.
Sharon suggested that.
Instead of every month, or once a month?
I guess, yes.
Well, I would move that we pay, as needed, any bills that deal with taxes or like utility payments.
We already are doing
Or
that.
any item that may lose a discount because of payment. Other than that, we need to approve the bills just like we are coming to the meetings and, that should be the process.
I thought we already voted a
Yeah.
few meetings ago.
That's what I'm saying, I don't know what this means.
Sharon said,
Reoccurring bills.
she just said doing it every 2 weeks. The old supervisors did that. She didn't know if that was something that we wanted to look at.
It's because all the supervisors got the opportunity to review the bills all the time. And that's not the case anymore. That's the reason.
All right, we're not doing nothing there?
Guess not.
Subdivision for Thomas Martin.
Okay, me. Good evening. I'm here for Thomas Martin. My name is Josh Carroll. I've been here before. I know some of the board members, Mr. Mankle. There's actually 3 requests this evening for you to consider. Request number 1 would be to approve the subdivision, which has already been approved by Washington County. Approval of that subdivision would be subject to DEP review and approval. It's dividing, it's roughly 23 acre or so plot of ground, subdividing into 3 separate lots. One is 10.916 acres, one is, and the other 2 are 6 acres each.
Okay, what was your,
So, one request is to approve the subdivision as presented. Then there was a planning module created by the Washington County Sewage Council to address the on-lot sewage, utilizing 2,500 gallon holding tanks for each of the lots. Each lot's for commercial use. That's been obviously created and
So
approved by the.
there's 3 2,500 gallon tanks, I saw, I
Yes.
said 2.
That should be, there's three, one
There's
for
three?
each, one for each lot.
Okay,
So it should be for each lot. Obviously, that was approved and reviewed by the sewage council.
that's served by city water.
That I do not know. I cannot answer that.
It's Greaves Road, I don't know if it goes down.
I don't know where,
I don't
it
think it
stops
goes
at.
that
I
far.
don't think it goes down Greaves
Yeah,
Road.
It doesn't go over that
Does it stop at
bridge.
the?
It's almost at the dead end, is my
Okay,
understanding.
I didn't know how far away.
Yeah, it
Um,
stops right there before you go over that bridge.
And approval of that planning module would also be subject to DEP review and approval. And then and I don't know if you want me to keep going, there's one more request.
Go ahead.
I don't know if there's any questions on that one. The third one is a request for a variance for the setbacks. Given where at least my understanding from the old ordinance, which is what I'm assuming is now in effect, since whatever was passed and adopted has been repealed,
You're talking about the subdivision land development ordinance?
well, I'm just talking about whatever the requirements are at this point now for setbacks, because that's what the issue is.
That would be in this,
Yeah, which I'm assuming is now what's in effect.
Yeah.
because-
Yes.
So, at least if I understand it correctly, if the building lot's above the township road, the setback is 50 feet. Greaves Road is 33-foot right of way. So the proposed construction of the parking lot for the building, they're within the setback but outside the township right of way. And the reason we're asking for the variance is twofold. First is, there's an electric pole on the north side of the property that will not and cannot be moved because it goes across 79. The electric company will
70,
not,
I mean.
or 70, excuse me, thank you. And the electric company just will not do that, given the federal permitting, et cetera, that's required. The second issue is rock. They've encountered a severe amount of rock at that location. So the problem becomes, they're not sure where the building's gonna be, either if it's gonna be above or below, and there's varying setbacks. So, for those two reasons, they're requesting a variance for a 20-foot setback, which still keeps the building outside of the township right-of-way and 30 feet off the road.
that 30 feet from the edge of the road or
Yeah.
the right of way?
For my
Or
understanding,
from
it's,
the center of the road?
You said the building?
yeah.
Because at one point you said the parking lot.
Well, yeah,
Well, there's-
the building, the parking lot, it's all considered one for that, for the purposes of the zoning, as far as where we can place it. At least it's my understanding. So,
Yeah.
if you approve it, and let me make sure that I have my numbers correct. If you approve only a 20-foot setback, we're still out of the township right away, 30 feet off the road, and we still have 200 feet of sight distance for the parking lot and the building. In my understanding that there's already been a driveway permitted.
So the cut's gonna be below the road.
We don't know because it depends, that's the problem, we don't know because of the rock, so,
So obviously you've already been digging,
yes,
excavations have commenced.
yes.
But just, if I can give input, if you don't mind, I was down in Wayne Township. Wayne Township is going towards Sprague, so if you know where that is. That's where we went to have a fabulous meal at Blacksville, the Creek and Rail, the Roan Creek Restaurant. Again, I don't know the circumstance, but when you dig below the road, you have to be very careful, because down in Wayne Township, a person put a house in, or they put a, home or whatever. They dug in, below the road, they dug out the, and I don't know, I haven't seen the site, but they dug out below the road. It caused two major slips, and again, because when you cut the toe of the slope out, and this is what I've learned over the years, when you cut the toe of the slope out of any type of hillside, you actually, as Steve can tell you, he'll agree with me on this probably, when you remove this toe of the slope, you remove the support, right, Steve? Or are you looking at your fancy phone?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm drawing picture.
But when you remove the toe of the slope, you remove the support, and that causes slips. And down there, we have some major slips because that person, and again, I'm not saying it's happening here, but that raises the red flag to me, what happened in Wayne Township recently. And that property's owned by a guy named Jeremiah Moore, or something like that. So I'm just telling you, that's a concern that I have. When you remove the toe of the slope out, that's when you have slips.
For whatever reason, and I found this kind of odd, for what, exactly the reason you're saying, the setback, if you're below the road in the ordinance, is only 35. If you're above, it's 50. There has to, I'm not an engineer.
I'm not either.
I don't propose, I don't
All I
purport
know
to
is
be.
I saw-
I went to law school because I suck at math.
I just saw when they removed the toe slope down there, it caused 2 slips. It's gonna cost like $150,000 to fix, if not more.
Well, certainly, obviously, if that occurs, then the property owner's gonna be responsible for that or any repairs,
If
and
they have a
certainly.
permit from the sewer conservation, they should know
Yeah.
where they can't move that toe of the slope.
I don't trust, when I deal with soil conservation, I think the engineer should go out there and review it, just to make certain.
Yeah.
If their reason for the variance is rock, why would you dig through it? Why wouldn't you go on top of it? Why are you worried about going below?
I don't know.
I think that's what he's saying, isn't it, that you're saying if they hit more rock or something?
Yeah, if we hit more rock, we don't know what the levels.
Well, let's
Is
take-
this
let's
the
take-
same piece of ground that's already got a 10-foot high wall on it?
No, my understanding is all that's been done is there's been some dirt moved, less than an acre.
Well, the first issue for you tonight is the issue concerning the subdivision. So if you want to make a motion to approve it, subject to the following conditions. If you want to make a motion.
I just have, I have a question, and I pointed out to the solicitor here. This question came up the last week when we were here about the excavation. Section 110-19 of the Donegal Township subdivision land development ordinance. Under land requirements, excavation, grading, and filling, no change shall be made in the contour of the land, no grading, excavating, removal, or destruction of topsoil, trees, or other vegetative cover of the land shall be commenced unless approved by the planning commission. In the preliminary and/or final plat. Such approval shall be based upon consideration for minimizing erosion, sedimentation, such